In this video, we want to suppose that s of x is defined as negative x minus 1, and t of x is defined as negative 2x squared plus 2. And we want to use those two functions to find the value of the s of t of negative 2. So looking at this problem, there's a lot going on. We have two different functions, and we want to find the s of t of negative 2, which looks kind of complicated. But really, it's not too bad if you just break it into little pieces, essentially, and work from the inside out. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to forget the fact that we're wanting the s of something. All we care about first of all is figuring out what the t of negative 2 is equal to. And then we're going to put that in the place of t of negative 2. So in other words, we're going to get a number. So let's go ahead and solve that. So t of x is going to be negative 2x squared plus 2. So the t of negative 2 is just putting negative 2 in the place of x, and this function underlined in blue. So that's going to give us negative 2 multiplied by, instead of x squared, negative 2 squared plus 2. So lots of 2's going on there. Let's go ahead and simplify this. Order of operations mean we should do the exponent first. So the negative 2 out front comes down. Negative 2 squared is going to give us positive 4, and then plus 2. So then we'll multiply. Negative 2 times 4 is going to give us negative 8 plus 2, and that's going to give us negative 6. And so the t of negative 2 is the same thing as negative 6. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take that value right there, and we're going to put it in the place of the t of negative 2 in our composed function that we're looking for. So now, instead of the s of t of negative 2, what we're really looking for is the s of negative 6, because that's equal to the t of negative 2. And so now, all we have to do is find the s of negative 6, and that's going to be found by plugging negative 6 into the place of x here in the s function. So you can see all we had to do was break this function and the overall composed function into two different parts, and then solve each part separately. So the s of x is negative x minus 1. The s of negative 6 would be negative, instead of x, we're going to put negative 6 minus 1. And then again, we'll just simplify this. Negative times a negative is going to give us a positive 6 minus 1 is going to give us 5. And that's going to be our overall answer right there. So the s of t of negative 2 is the same thing as finding the t of negative 2, getting a number, and then plugging that into s, and then getting a number.